Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
You sure can. Good morning, John.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, there's some things that I'm very confused about. I'm not a very educated man. I haven't served in any government capacity, but what I don't understand is why they beat up on Donald Trump so much, because he's a man that stuck his neck out for the United States because he loved it and he wanted to save it, and he's a businessman. And maybe if the government was run like a business, we wouldn't be 20 trillion in debt. And first of all, we hired the best of the best to run the government. That's what we thought. With the best attorneys, the best lawyers, the best everything. But yet we're still 20 trillion in debt, and we're still being attacked by foreign countries, and it doesn't seem to be any end to it. So we voted for Donald Trump, hoping that he would be able to change all this and make this country run like a business so we wouldn't be in debt. And maybe that's my question.
I think first it's very important to understand why we are in debt, and the $20 billion figure is a figure that's often used. That's $1 trillion figure is a figure that's often used, which is the gross federal debt. Now, where does that come from? Well, the first place it comes from is year after year after year taxing people at a lower level than we have decided to spend. What is it that we're spending money on? 80% of what we spend money on is tied up in Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, the defense budget. These are all things that have broad support. The other 20%, we're talking about the FBI, we're talking about the Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, etc. So if we want to reduce the debt, there's really only two ways to do it. One way is that we could raise taxes. The second is we could cut back on spending. But we should be clear that when we're talking about cutting back on spending, we would have to cut back on those areas that I'm talking about, because that's where the money is. And President-elect Trump is not talking about raising taxes. He's talking about cutting them. And he's not talking about cutting those programs. So I think it remains to be seen how he could make good on any promise to reduce the debt when he's cutting taxes and he's not touching those areas of the budget where the money is.
Our last call is from